Good evening. Today we are going to talk about climate change. My group is composed by Andrea Porras, Natalia Solano, and my person Mayra Pereira.
Definition and etymology of climate change. It is understood as climate change attributed directly or indirectly to human activity that alters the composition of the global atmosphere and that add to the natural variability of the climate observed over comparable period of time. From the meteorology point of view, climate change is the alteration of the prevailing condition, extra process such as variation in solar radiation, variation in the Earth's orbital parameters, crustal movement, and volcanic activity are all important factors in climate change. Global subtemperature has been measured since 1818 at a network of ground-based and ocean-based sites. Over the last century, the average surface temperature of the Earth has increased by about 1. The 11 garments years this century have all occurred for 1,100. Brief history of concept. Change is a word that comes from Latin, specifically from cambium, that can be translated as to give of the thing for another. Climate, on the other hand, derived from the Greek, it means relative to atmospheric condition and is the result of the union of two clearly delimited terms. The no climb, which is equivalent to inclination of the sun, and the substitute ticos, which is used to indicate. I can be say that climate change is a consequence of global warming caused in turn by the greenhouse effect.
Different perspective of this as in the history of the world. The world is closer to the limits of growth if the current energy model continues. Its origin had ever and committed to sustainable growth. Economists have been alerting to this problem for many years, although it is beginning to take shape, to manifest in an alarming way for a few years now. The general rise in temperature is consequence of the GHGs emitted into the atmosphere by human activity. The absorption capacity of natural carbon dioxide sink is not sufficient, so the forest play permanence of the gas in the atmosphere. Principal responsibility for the greenhouse effect is of the order of century. As a result, the current level of carbon dioxide will continue to grow until the middle of 2008. This century is still in the best scenario for reducing emissions. The consequences of oil climate change are manifold and seriously demanding to the entire planet, especially if urgent and decisive action is not taken. Discovery and development in the scientific community. There is also evidence that ecosystems are ready to warning. BVU 1981 and 1991. The lack of the growing season in the North High latitude. BVU 45 and 7 increased by a total of up to 12 days, as documented by satellite imagery. Rain in spring and summer occurring up to the 8 days early, and vegetation continued to the photosynthesis and estimated 4 days longer. Global mean sea level has risen 4 to 10 inches over the last 100 years. mainly because water expands when aid the melting of glacier, which has occurred worldwide over the last century. Also contribute to the rise, formerly frozen soil in the Alaska and Siberia. Arctic has all begun to melt, damaging both ecosystem and infrastructure. Melting and tundra water will also lead to decay of organic matter and the rise of trace carbon and methane, an additional source of greenhouse gas.
Suggestion to stop the trend. 1. Change the bulbs. Replace a traditional lamp bulb with a low energy bulb save more than 45 kilos of carbon dioxide per year. 2. Turn off the TV and PC. Just turning off the TV, DVD or computer with no in use will prevent thousands of kilos of carbon dioxide from entering the atmosphere. 3. Drive less. Go ride a bit. Use public transport. You save 30 grams of carbon dioxide for every 4.5 kilometers for don't drive. For every liter of fuel burned by a car engine, an average of 2.5 kilos of carbon dioxide is released, according to the European Commission. 4. Recycle. You can save more. 4. Recycle. You can save more than 730 kilos of carbon dioxide per year by recycling half of the waste produced at home. 5. Keen and age on the application. Converting the casserole with cooking in a way to save a lot of energy. Even better and pressure cooking and stirring, which saves 70% energy. Use the washing machine and the dishwasher only when they are full. If they turn not, use economy programs. 6. Plant a tree. A single tree absorbs a ton of carbon dioxide during in the steering lifting. Conclusion. Climate change has become the great environmental problem of the 21st century at the global level. Since the future consequence of global warming on human beings and the every do not respond to the creation of state boards by rating is a transport problem. In order to control or reduce as much as possible the negative effects derived from this problem, it is necessary to reach an agreement which should not be subject to the will of developed countries. Focus has a set far-reaching measures that allow the reduction of emissions and mitigate global warming. The solution to this global problem requires a study with an international dimension at the state, regional, and the local level, and must be multidisciplinary and multisectorial strategy.